One, hope you're having a great day. We are.
Absolutely. And we are just so fortunate tonight to be able to have an amazing guest with us. We talk a lot lately about the need to help people heal. There's just so much that's going on out here whether we're talking about physical healing, mental and emotional healing, or spiritual healing, we need more of it all over the planet. And Mr. Quintus McDonald, he's got his hands in all of that and then some. So welcome, Quintus. We're so excited to have you with
Amazing
us.
person.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Cheyenne and Don. It's a pleasure to be here on tonight and super excited about jumping in. The fact that you all have invited us to be a part of your platform speaks to my heart. So we're grateful for that and excited about the opportunity to share some time with you.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, and you've got such an interesting background. I'm going to guess from some that I've started reading in your book that you've had to go through a fair amount of your own healing throughout your life, as well as being able to get to a place of paying that forward and helping others. So, I'd love for you to share some information here about, how did a guy go from being in the NFL to being a healer of people?
Wow. Well, thank you. Thank you, Cheyenne, for even taking a look into my background to pull that out, that's what we do. We the term reintegration and comes along after recycling, and those two terms are simply about the prefix re is to go and return to original form. With I am recycling because of the road that I've traveled, um, and never being incarcerated, with the lifestyle that I was living post NFL. I easily could still be in prison right now. Certainly, without God's mercy, could easily be dead right now. I still have a bullet in my body from foolish lifestyle that I had adopted and had become normal. And when I had a reprieve, a moment, a moment, a moment's reprieve from that lifestyle, and began to I had a conversation with the Lord and asked God to show me what true intimacy really is. And we began the journey of helping other people to heal. And we had already started. That took place almost 3 years after we had started I Am Recycling. And we started I Am Recycling, in a conversation with God again. Like, like, dude, why am I still here? All of these people are going to prison. Folks are dying every day, and I'm still here. There's a reason. And I always had a heart for um, nature, for Mother Earth, and the town that I grew up in New Jersey actually was one of the pilot towns for recycling across the nation back in the early 70s. Like we were recycling in Montclair. There was a pilot program that had begun in New Jersey back in the early 70s, and I recall that. And I was actually living in Indianapolis at the time, and their refuse and trash was just absolutely horrible. And I thought about creating a recycling company. While this actually started while I was still playing in the NFL, and I got chased away. The first thing that people told me was it was run by the mob. They'd never let me in. Right,
Mhm.
exactly. So that was my thought exactly. I'm like, look, I'm from Jersey. I know a little bit about that stuff. I don't want no parts of it. So I left it alone for a period of time, but it just kept on like itching at me. So I went in and I spoke with someone else, and they said, "Hey, how about doing it from a nonprofit organization perspective?" I said, "Okay, great." I went to the registrar in the city government and told them what I wanted to do, and the season had ended. So I gave them an address. They said they were going to send me some documents. I gave them an address, my mother's address. I went back to Jersey, and I come in the house one day, and there are these stacks they're of booklets and paperwork that are shrink wrapped together. I'm thinking these things are bigger than telephone books. What is this? And I look, and it's all of the paperwork to become a 501c3. So I said no. And now fast forward a couple of decades to this was in the early 1990s when this was taking place. Fast forward to 2008, excuse me, and it comes back again, and it's about recycling souls. It's not about the actual refuse, but I use the refuse as job development so that the men could make some money, and that I could create a program that is partnered with industry. I really believe that, if we're partnering with industry, then that check the box because you're a felon, we can move past that thing.
Yes.
If we're giving them the tools to go and be able to sit down and have a conversation within a potential employer, helping them to understand how to approach a person, even on the street. We ended up doing a lot of marketing, so on and so forth, and we employed 46 convicted felons over 2 different summers. So we were giving employment to people who needed employment, and we were keeping folks from coming through folks' back windows, all at the same time. So
Amazing.
the reintegration piece, all of that is a product of God's redemption with me and how he kept me. And because I am redeemed, I want everyone who has made a poor decision, went down the wrong road, whatever the case may be, I want them to understand that that there is a redeemer and that they are worth redemption and being recycled or reintegrated, recycled soul being reintegrated into society.
I love that. I love that. Well, and apparently God had plans for you that went beyond what you originally thought, because if I read correctly, you didn't like expect to be leaving the NFL when you did. Is that correct?
Oh, absolutely not. No one. I can't. I mean, I shouldn't say no one. There are a select group of individuals who make a decision that they are ready to leave the NFL before the NFL tells you it's time to go. So yeah, God, and I think about that. And whenever it used to be very painful, and when the pain would come, and I'd get to start getting angry about this thing or that thing, I realized that God in his providence knows the end from the beginning. So the way that I played football, I was extremely violent and reckless. Reckless abandon is one of the things that we were taught as children, to play with reckless abandon. And I was just learning how, well, I had my mental shift that I was going to begin to play differently. And I had transformed my body from this big brute person. I had lost 20 pounds, and was playing the same position, only playing it differently. And it looked fantastic, to be honest. It was reminiscent of of the way that I dominated the football field in high school, actually. So I was excited, and then when the injury came and I ended up being released, it was very, very painful. And I went and did a bunch of research for the people that I help now. I went and did a couple of decades worth of research, and God kept me through that. And we bless God. And in fact, coming up on next week, the decision that I made to give my life back to Christ and turn and walk a different way happened on October 25th of 2010. Excuse me.
Wow.
And I got on the 1201 train from Indianapolis to Charlottesville and had a long talk with my big brother that you see over my shoulder right there. We had a long conversation. And I've been blessed that the Holy Spirit never left me, because even in my foolishness, I still the fundamental knowledge of God and who He was, the fact that I felt like I didn't belong, but still that fundamental knowledge of God in my life and His presence was there over and over and over and over again.
And as you made a greater and greater effort to follow His guidance, it's taken you on some amazing paths for sure. I mean, I love that whole idea of recycling and reintegration. We've talked about how I've actually taught inside the jail here in North Carolina as well. But there's another component too, because again, you've become this amazing focal point for healing in so many ways. So what in the world talked you into going into the world of women's health?
Well, it began with health in general. Looking at how we could be leading the world in so many areas that are positive. Why are we leading the world in sickness as well? When we have access to all of these things. So both my wife and I were on a journey doing some natural things before we met, and then when we met, it just it was beautiful, and it accelerated us all the more. I mean, we were a part of a wellness company that has a tremendous line of products that are extremely beneficial, and we joined them, and we're doing well. But the fundamental premise behind far too many of these companies is internal consumption. They take the leaders or the people who are independent distributors and make them have to spend so much money on a monthly basis that's where they and the overpriced items, all of these things. Neither one of us really liked that part. So we became customers, and we were looking for a necessity product. That was what was on our heart. There has to be a necessity product, so that number one, it's a necessity. Folks are going to need to replenish and purchase on a regular basis. And what that does is two things. It gives us an opportunity to cut the costs, and it puts us in a position where internal consumption is not necessary because it's a necessity product. And we're, we found a necessity product. We weren't owners at that time, but it brought us out of retirement from being affiliate marketers, and we began to spread the word about this product because we understood the space. When you look at the feminine hygiene space here in the United States, and see that all of the products that are being sold pre-menstrual flow for the menstrual flow and post menstrual flow, because of the menstrual flow, are all made by the same companies that make the product that's supposed to help the menstrual flow. And it when you look at the chemicals that are involved, many of those chemicals inhibit the issues that are caused pre and post. So we're saying, well, what's the FDA doing about this? Well, the FDA doesn't regulate that space, which means the pharmaceutical companies and the big paper companies can do whatever they wish to our females. And when they're impacting the females, it impacts the entire family. It's not just the one individual who is having the menstrual flow. It's the husband, it's the father, it's the brother. It's the big sister who's gone through it already and knows what little sis is going through. So who's having a great day at work, school, or play when one of the family members is balled up on the couch? No one is. So when the opportunity came to create a company and create a product that was head and shoulders above anything on the market, but also better than the company that we had just come out of, the Lord had blessed us with the financial capacity to be able to be the number one investors in the company. So there's 4 of us, husband and wife teams. There originally were 5. The 5th person was not aligned with low margins and build over time, that we're going to be customer centric and not, the company that we came out of, all of us were a part of the previous company that had a phenomenal product, not as good as ours. We've optimized even that product, but head and shoulders above anything on the market at the time. That company was purchased by a high dollar network marketing company that, like, they've got their lowest price on their listing was probably somewhere between $80 and $90. They really market to a very elite class, financially elite class of people. Well, they took the products that were left over when they purchased the company, about 150,000 units. And they sold those units for $17 a piece and sold out in about somewhere around 8 months.
Wow.
That's the quality of what was, and we've taken that and optimized it even greater. And that's what we have today. So we're excited about the fact that we're serving. Sure, we will reach 1 million customers, and it might take another 5 years, and that's okay. That's quite all right with us, because we want to make sure that everyone has access to what we're producing, and that we don't price anyone out, which is why we're at $6. I mean, we launched in June of 2019 at $6 a pack. At that time, we had four different SKU. We were working on a 5th because ladies had asked for a liner with wings for light incontinence. So we were working on a 5th one. And throughout 2019, all the way through 2020 and COVID, that 18 months, we grossed $3.5 million on a $6 product.
Wow.
And you can imagine that our customer base grew tremendously. And we're currently, over 65,000 folks have registered their debit credit cards with us to receive our product on a monthly basis. We have just under 2,000 independent distributors. We've got 2 private label partnerships. We're in not only the United States, we're in Canada. We're selling in Jamaica, waiting on an agreement with a group down there. Nigeria is open, and Ghana is on the map. Ghana is putting in their paperwork and getting everything squared away as we speak. So we continue to grow globally, as well as here at home. And now we've got 6 SKU because we listen to what our customers say. The young ladies wanted something for thong panties, and we produced it, and they love it.
Wow. Amazing. Amazing. I'm just sitting here thinking about all the ways that he's helping to heal people because, you
Mhm.
know, he's helped the folks who are returning back to society. He's, you know, with jobs as well as helping to recycle souls.
That's right.
He's got the women's health thing going on. You're helping people to also be able to have home-based business with this product. So you're actually helping to heal finances that way. And I'm trying to remember, I think there might even be one other thing that you are doing in amazing ways. Aren't you doing something with helping young people to understand more of their value?
Oh, absolutely. We started it was called the Junior Sports Academy um, in 2011 because the Lord had a conversation with God on December 30th. We were down in Fort Worth, had a speaking engagement with young children. I am a part of a group called the Timeout Guys, and we are a bunch of former NFL players who we travel and speak to groups of children about taking a timeout before you make a poor decision that's going to impact your life in a negative way. So that's where Timeout Guys comes from. So we were down in Fort Worth, and on the 30th, we had already had one presentation, and the 30th, I was coming out of devotion and just sitting there with the sun on my back in the hotel room, thinking of how wonderful God is. And Lord spoke to me and said, "Sports camp." I said, okay. I thought it was confirmation that I had joined some of my college teammates who had an incredible football camp. Like their football camp ran for like 6 weeks, served about 10,000 students, student athletes up in Ashburn. Yeah, it's ridiculous what they get accomplished. And Laura said, no, Quintus McDonald. I said, okay. Now, I talk to my father the way that he talks to me, and he talks to me so that I can hear him and that I know that it's him. And I've had conversations prior and made the decision to not do what was asked of me. I knew for a fact that I said, yes, there's no way I'm not going to do this. So we finished up in Texas, came home, and I'm praying. Now, mind you, I had just shut down everything in Indianapolis on October, that week of the 25th. I had shut down my business, sold off all that it could be sold off, purchased my ticket, paid some debts, and came to North Carolina to start over. And so come January, you could imagine that the pot was dry. I mean, pot was dry. And I asked the Lord, what should this program look like? And it was simple. It said, create a program that made you the number one recruited football player in the nation in 1984. What made Quintus McDonald that person? So we created the Junior Sports Academy. It was held in Montclair, so it was called the Montclair Junior Sports Academy, and out of it came Mobile Training Academy, which all of the concepts are the same. And really, what the concepts are multiple sports. In the morning, we would have the academy, and the children would come in the morning, let them play around until it's time to begin. We begin at 9 o'clock with affirmation. That's the first thing we do. I am amazing. Would you like to hear the affirmation?
Why not?
All right.
Lay it on us.
This is the affirmation. And it's a call and repeat. So I would say it and the children would repeat it back to me. And there's stuff, you can find this on our Facebook pages, but the affirmation is, I am amazing. I can do anything I put my mind to. I am amazing. I can do everything I dream of doing. I am amazing. I can become anyone I decide to become. I am amazing. I can do these things because I am created in the image of God. I am amazing. Because God created me, I am more than a conqueror.
Woof.
So
nice.
That's
exactly the kind of
logo
stuff
right there. Yeah.
Yep.
So we begin with affirmation. Then they go into the three different sports. It's typically track, basketball, and football drills. There are times, depending on the coaching availability and the city that we're in, that all of those things can be changed. But it's always the idea, the concept is play multiple sports. Then they come after everyone goes through all three areas, come back for lunch, and then we break up into the education component. So we have character development, we have art, and so it would either be theater, pencil drawing, creativity, just being creative, and then it's about reading, literacy. We literacy is the other part. So that literacy is the key component, simply because the school to prison pipeline is predicated on third grade literacy scores. So the literacy comes from the reading piece, but we also have had cohorts of financial literacy, which implements reading as well. But those are the three components for the education: literacy, art, and I said it the first time. Character development.
Character, yes.
Mm-hmm.
So important. And we've been very concerned about our youth. That's what brought us back to Raleigh this summer. And so, so many ways that you're working on healing God's people. And I love that so much. Is there any big vision for the future that you'd love to share, just so people can kind of help you hold that vision going forward?
Absolutely. So the vision going forward is the I Am Elite Academy, which is a postgraduate academy that will have it's the idea, the concept is built on an on-campus experience, turning a college campus into a community of well-being, of well-being and education. So we'll be educating on all the hot topics, from technology, to how to make your business grow, entrepreneurship, things of that nature. So we won't skip a beat. We'll be looking for partnerships, people who are interested in helping other people to grow, and that's who we are, and that's where we're headed. Had a tremendous conversation today with the commissioner for youth and development out of Abia State, Nigeria. Abia is the #1 state in Nigeria that the governor is turning things around tremendously there. And we've got a relationship, talking with him about consulting to help bring their level of athletics to the forefront and help them to raise up, as well as transfer students.
Incredible. Holy
Oh,
moly.
fantastic.
Well, and I know you're so respectful in terms of not, giving a lot of information about some of these businesses, but I have a feeling, don't you have a good question here for Mr. Quintus?
Yeah, I bet there's a lot of people out there would like to know how to get hold of them.
Yes, and might even like to know what some of this product is that you're working with.
Yes,
We are
definitely.
totally about supporting entrepreneurship, so please
Awesome.
feel free to mention that.
Awesome. So our brand name is Rain. We have a complete line of feminine hygiene products, from liners to liners with wings to overnight products. And what's amazing, the younger girls asked for something for the thong, and we created that. The healthcare providers for our seniors, and they are really seeing how much better our product is for their clients than the diapers that are laden with chemicals and creating rash. And they're finding that our products are truly healing people. So it's hard to, you've got to, we've almost, we've been blessed to not miss any orders, even through the pandemic, and we never raised our prices 1 cent.
Wow.
So that lets you know that we are here to serve you. We are here to serve. In 5 years, never raised our prices with all the price gouging that's going on, and all of what we took on as a company when they gouged us to ship our products. I mean, they were truly gouging in the logistics arena. So where we are is taking care of the youngest all the way to the oldest and everyone in between. That's so there's a product for you here with us at Rain. If you're listening, I would suggest just take a look at the ingredients on the product that you have in your bathroom. Take a look at the ingredients and find out what some of those big words that you can't pronounce, what those chemicals do to the body, what happens when they get in your body from repetitive use. And then take a look at our products at Rain. You can see our products at www.rec, the number 5, Jewel, JEWEL, pads, PADS.com. So www.rec5.jewelpads.com. And do yourself a favor, do your family a favor, and spend $6 or $7 to see what the difference is like. And Cheyenne, my goal really with what, not only to bring in other countries and bring them on board and get our product global more so, but for the grammar schools here in the United States, because it has become law, it's a federal law that the schools must provide these products for the females. Now, they're not pushing that law because they understand that it costs. But what we need to understand is the end cost of poor health because you used a product that came to your school for free, because Johnson & Johnson knows that they're going to have a person that's going to need their products on the week before and the week after because they're hooked on this chemical laden product. Well, when we take a chance and get our product to these young girls, now we have a chance to impact that loyalty, that the family, the brand loyalty, because it's what was in the house when I came up. So when I went to the supermarket, it's the same thing that I went and grabbed. Well, if we impact them with a product that's comfortable, keeps them dry, and there is no after effects or ill effects, then they're going to say to their mother, I don't want to use that scratchy, nasty thing anymore. I want rain. I want rain. We want
Absolutely.
rain. That's what we want.
There you go.
Well, and I could say I have used the product, and it is a good product. So we
Well,
thank you for your concerns for healing the world in so many ways. And, God bless you for all the work that you're doing and all that you will continue to do. So
Thank you
we
so
thank
much.
you so much for taking your time to be with us tonight, Quintus. And please, folks. In fact, I'm going to go into because this is live streaming in both YouTube and Facebook. I'm going to go in there and put your link in there so that people can find your link. And we hope that you will reach out to Mr. Quintus, because you can be found on LinkedIn as well and Facebook, right? Yes, I think both places. Yep.
LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram. Quintus McDonald. I'm not hard to find. Not hard to find at all.
Sounds good.
Well, thank you so much for being with us tonight, and keep on keeping on, because I know that God designed you to be one of the miracles that's helping our world. So thank you for that.
Thank you. Thank you, Cheyenne. Thank you, Don. God bless you both. Have a wonderful, wonderful evening and beginning of the week. We're off to a good start.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
Outstanding.
Yes,
All right.
indeed.
Take care.
God